Recognize the gentlelady from Arizona, the vice chair of this subcommittee. Thank you for filling in when I went to vote. Ms. Lesko.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Mathers, how long do University of Virginia medical students study antimicrobial resistance and how to combat it?
So that's a great question. I think that we actually need improved education in antimicrobial effectiveness and management. And so we have started at UVA giving stewardship lectures between myself and my partner, Heather Cox, who's a pharmacist. We give a joint stewardship lecture once they learn the basics of how antibiotics work and how we test them, and then we come back and talk through how to not overuse them, how to make sure that you understand your role as sort of the keeper of this precious resource. And so...
so is it about an hour?
Yeah, so later on, it's about an hour.
Okay, all right, thank you. Ms. Jessic, can you go into more detail about the efforts that your society, the Infectious Disease Society of America, is making to increase awareness of AMR and to educate physicians on AMR?
Absolutely. So we have developed a couple of different curricula at different levels, beginning with medical students and then on for physicians that are a little more advanced in their training to learn about appropriate antibiotic use. For physicians that are becoming infectious diseases physicians, we have curricula to teach them about how to run an effective antimicrobial stewardship program, which is really, again, focused on making sure patients get the optimal treatment. We certainly don't want to, deny antimicrobial drugs to people who need them, but we want to make sure they get the right drug. We also, our members do an enormous amount of communications through media briefings, through social media, through every communication channel that we can find. And they do this both through the society and on their own as individuals to educate the public, to educate their communities about AMR. And we've actually found that oftentimes those individual physicians are some of the most effective messengers, because there has been an erosion of trust in some of the more maybe government-associated messengers on this. And so having those ID physicians in the communities as those messengers is so important.
Yeah, that is important. Mr. Outerson, I want to give you the opportunity to highlight the major accomplishments that CARB-X has done since its inception.
I think the key way to measure success at CARB-X is whether highly innovative products make it into human clinical testing. And I'm happy to say that it was not prearranged, but our annual report came out yesterday, and we show exactly that sort of progress with more than a dozen in the outside of the diagnostics coming directly into human clinical testing. And then for the diagnostics, a couple of them actually are now on the market in Europe.
That's my last question, so I yield back.